Hello everyone, Ciao Political Central here. Welcome back to another video. And today I am updating my house ratings. If you haven't watched me in a while, I usually go from not west to east, east to west, my bad, and rate each single district that I have competitive, which today will be 70. I have 193 safe Democratic districts, 172 safe Republican districts. Remember, majority is 218. If you already been here, you could have probably already skipped to my when I start rating, but if you already been here, you know how this works, and let's get right to it. Starting off with the East Coast, and we're going up to Maine. I got it lean Republican now. This could be a pretty much the best chance, the best pickup opportunity outside of the gerrymander districts for the Republicans. So yeah. Next up is New Hampshire's second district. We got likely Democrat. I say that district's always going to be sort of competitive, but I don't see it flipping this year. Even if it's like a moderate year, it's not going to flip in a reddish year. Which it's not going to happen. So yeah, it's going to stay. All right, over to New York. We got several districts here. We got Long Island, so we got District 1 up in Long Island, likely Republican. For a multitude of reasons, Long Island has been shifting a little bit to the left before Trump 24. So I see it in the right environment being sort of competitive. Thomas Rawley in New York 3, he's not gonna have any problems. He outran Kamala by 6 points, I think, and won the special handily, won re-election by outrunning Kamala by like 6 points. I think he's got this. New York 4, I also got it as likely. Don't see it flipping for Republicans being competitive at all. Up here in New York 19, lean Democrat, see it being competitive. Even in a blue environment, it's gonna be more so competitive. And then New York 17 also got lean Democrat. That'll be a flip. I think that even in a good environment for Democrats, Lawler is gonna put up a good fight, but I think he's an underdog this year. All right, down here, Pennsylvania and New Jersey. New Jersey 7, tilt Republican. If things happen the way the waves happen, that's gonna flip. And I got a lean Democrat here in Pennsylvania 7. That is probably gonna be one of the big first seats to fall to the Democrats. So yeah, I think it's flipping. Pennsylvania 8, a little bit redder than Pennsylvania 7. I think Republicans could barely hold it, but the environment continues to look like it is. It may shift towards Democrats, like New Jersey 7 as well. Pennsylvania 1, dog. Brian Fitzpatrick is always hard to beat, and I don't think he'll lose this year, even though blue wave. Pennsylvania 10, Scott Perry, like lean Democrat as well. He's an underdog. He underperformed the other Pennsylvania Republicans who flipped seats last year. So, yeah, he's an underdog as well. All right, going down to Virginia, North Carolina. All right, Pennsylvania 7. This is Virginia 7. I got likely Democrat. Lean Republican here in Virginia 1. and then lean Democrat again in Virginia 2. And then Republican held a seat that I think will probably flip pretty early on in the night. So yeah. Alright. North Carolina 1. Tilt Republican. I think Don Davis is a strong incumbent for the district, but I still think he loses. He just got gerrymander screwed. North Carolina 3. I see it being competitive in a wave year. North Carolina 11. I also got it likely Republican. I have it on the verge of potentially going to the leans, but I still see Republicans as heavy favorites in that district. Same with South Carolina 1. You could see it potentially being competitive, but this is a redder version of the district that flipped in 18. I think it's going to require like a big wave, bigger than 18, to flip that seat. Down over here to Tennessee 5. Lean Republican. Hear me out on this. Andy Ogles has been getting a lot of negative attention, and I believe in a good environment with Ogles being as weak as an incumbent as he is. I think he could see himself potentially being in trouble. All right, down here in Florida, likely Republican in the 7th, lean Republican in the 13th. Hear me out, Pinellas. It's always going to be a swingy district. Trump won there in 24. Biden won there in 20. Trump won there in 16. That general district area is always going to be a swing district, but I think it's the environment of Florida too hostile for Democrats to take care of it. It's still going to be a pretty good scare for Anna Luna, but it's not going to flip at this moment. And the 23rd of Florida is always probably going to be competitive, on the verge of competitiveness, close to being safe. But if Florida goes through with a redraw, then it probably won't even matter. Alright, up here in the Midwest, we got Kentucky 6. Again, Lexington, Kentucky. It's the environment and the areas where urban, suburban could end up being competitive in the right environment. Ohio. Alright, I got a ton of seats here in Ohio. Because here's the thing, even though it's pretty much a pretty Republican favorable map, and a very bad year, Republicans could lose upwards of 4 seats in a very, very bad year. I don't have them losing 4 seats, but I do have them potentially having to spend money in those. In Ohio 1 and Ohio 13, the Democratic districts, I see the Democrats as likely here. Ohio 9, I got that as still Republican. I've been shifting it more and more towards Captor as of late. And if I see it potentially, if both Husted and Vivek do bad, almost lose, you could see Captor potentially hold on in that district. Alright, now to the competitive Republican districts between Cincinnati and Columbus. Got the 8th and the 15th as likely. I think Republicans took a gamble putting a lot of Columbus into the 15th and a lot of Cincinnati into the 8th. But I think there's a lot of Republican areas that could balance it out, but I could see them being on the verge of competitive here. And then the 10th, lean Republican, that is Dayton, Ohio. Dayton has been trending more left leaning, especially in the lower ballots. So yeah. All right. Oh, Now up here to Michigan, we got 4 here, likely in the Republican in the 4th. I got a likely Democrat here in the 8th, the 7th. I got lean Democrat, as well as the 10th. Those are both going to be flips. I think the environment's good enough for Democrats to flip both. Indiana first. Republicans tried to gerrymander Indiana or redraw whatever you want and failed. Um, so Mervin's going to be safe. On the verge of competitiveness, but he's probably going to be. I'm probably going to eventually might have that as safe Democrat. All right, over here to Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. Got some good ones here. Wisconsin won. I'm still going to leave that at likely. He has the. It has the potential to become competitive, especially as we get later and later into the cycle. But right now, I don't feel like putting it lower than likely. However, I have a lean Democrat here in the third. Derek Van Orden, very weak incumbent. Rebecca Cook almost took him down when Trump won this district pretty handily. And with the chance of Wisconsin redraws, I see it flipping. Minnesota, I got these two districts, the 8th and the 1st, as likely Republican. Because again, we have the suburbs of Minneapolis for the 1st, the Duluth area and Iron Range for the 8th. I see both becoming competitive if it gets a bad environment for Republicans. For Iowa, I got a lean Republican now for the 1st. As you guys know, I've been leaning Iowa's. Not that's the 2nd. The Iowa's 1st is right here, which I now have. I have been having it as likely Democrat. I'm going to continue to have it as likely Democrat. Marinette Merrill Meeks has some in her two of her free elections were decided by less than 1%. Actually, decided less than 1,000 votes. Her first election was decided by 6 votes. Weak candidate, horrible environment for Republicans. I think she's probably going to be the first Republican incumbent to lose re-election. All right, Iowa's third. I got this lean Democrat again. Blue environment, I see it flipping. Nebraska second. If Don Bacon was running, it wouldn't be this, but likely Democrat just because it's an open seat. Biden and Harris both won it. I think it's basically game over for Republicans in that district. All right. Missouri and Kansas now. The 5th, Republicans redrew this. This is going to be likely Republican. I still think that it could still become competitive with how strong Emmanuel Cleaver is with the African Americans in the district. But Republicans really drew it out. I think it's going to flip for the Republicans. But if it does, if the old map gets reinstated due to this new map getting put on a referendum, which I don't see it being likely now, it's gonna flip. Alright, now Kansas 2. It's on the verge of becoming competitive. With the right environment, it will be competitive. It almost flipped in 2018. That's why I'm now moving it to likely Republican. I see it now becoming closer to 2018 environment every single day that passes. So, alright, let's go down to Texas. Republicans redrew this map to try to get 5 seats, but trends are not looking good for them. They may just get 2. So let's go. I got right wing Republicans in the new 32nd and the new 9th, but if the environment gets so bad, Democrats could compete to try to hold them. I got likely Republican in the 23rd. It's looking bad. We got the Republicans either going to have a Brandon Herrera or a scandal-ridden Tony Gonzalez. Both haven't. I don't know about Herrera in the general election, but Tony Gonzalez could be an absolute liability in that general election. Likely Republican right now. All right. I can likely Democrat for the Cuellar seat. Yeah, I think Hispanics are gonna pretty much go back for the Democrats. Well, I think they're gonna go back to most likely at least 22 levels. So Cuellar is pretty much safe. Vincent Gonzalez's seat, I see it as lean Democrat, but it's starting to get better and better for him as well. I see these two upper districts as lean Republican. Same reason, if it's for Democrats getting back to 22 levels for Hispanics, then yeah, it's going to get competitive for the suburban the San Antonio area and redraw district and the Upper Rio Grande Valley district. This redraw could absolutely backfire if it's a wave year. Alright, now to the southwest, we got Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. Utah always put the safe Democrat for the new redraw seat because no way there's going to be competitive race there. Likely Republican in the 5th and 4th. Again, has with the shifts in Colorado, these seats could absolutely become competitive. The 3rd, tilt Republican. Here's why. The incumbent is getting primaried. If the primary challenger becomes the nominee, it's going to be very hard for the Republicans to hold the seat. With how Polis and Bennett in 22 both won the seat, which almost causes Boebert to lose. With the right Democrat and the wrong Republican, this seat's flipping. But if the incumbent wins, it's going back to lean Republican. All right, but with that Colorado 8, I got it again, lean Democrat, and their flip here. It's again Colorado, Denver, suburban Denver. It flipped somehow, even though I think Trump lost this district in 24. I don't see it staying for the Republicans in a blue-ish environment. New Mexico second, I don't see it flipping for Republicans at all. I think it's going to remain Democratic for a while. All right, Arizona, the 1st and 6th are both lean Democrats. 2 flips, and that puts the Democrats in the majority already. So the reasons between these two, Arizona 1, actually, the reasons is pretty simple. Both districts were carried by Ruben Gallego in 24 on the low level. With Trump not on top of the ballot, these seats could easily flip this year. In even a blue ripple, these two seats flip. Arizona 2, I don't see it right now being competitive, but I'm hearing rumblings that it's going to get competitive, like we are for right now. All right, Nevada. This is the 4th likely Democrat. I don't see it being as competitive as it could be because of how the environment is. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, lean Republican in the 1st of Montana, and I got likely Democrat, lean Democrat, and likely Democrat in the Washington 1st seat here, and Oregon's 5th. All right, Alaska, likely Republican. All right, now we get to California. I got Democrats favoring in all these races. Likely Democrat in there and there. for the Valdez seat. Leaning Democrat, and same for the Isa seat. Oh, I forgot Minnesota too. Obviously, likely Democrat as well. How did I miss not getting Minnesota too? All right, so my final prediction right now: 227 Democrats, 208 Republicans. Again, I'm moving a lot of these races towards the Democrats due to what the environment's looking like. Dude, I think Democrats could get up to 235, 240, maybe. But right now, I still see like 230-ish is the probably what's going to happen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.